Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This one's going to be a bit controversial as I do have some things I'd like to say about the Ravenspire update and what things really messed with it. When the Ravenspire update hit the game, I absolutely loved it. I played through the entire quest to finally obtain the Doom weapon, and it was not disappointing. It was excellent being able to play through it. I thought the story itself had a nice flow, the NPCs were great, the quests were well done, and there were some really nice bonuses along with this whole update. One of the big things I really enjoyed was the fact that the area was not scaled, at least up to a certain point. If you're above level 40, it's not scaled. Below that it was, but I think that was really good and it rewards the higher level players. So that personally was a nice change. Another thing was the fact that there were lots of drops you could farm for. And this is something that we don't get very often, and I highly encourage the AE team to continue to do that, to add drops, because personally I feel it's better to have more drops than it is crafts. I am sick of having to deal with craft shops all the time, so it's really nice to be able to farm for materials. And not farm for materials, farm for the actual loot, because it feels far more rewarding when you open up a loot bag and see this instead of crafting materials. The items that we got, like the head skull or the Ravenspire bow, these are some really nice additions to the AQ3D arsenal, so I definitely was excited when I saw that they had some pretty darn nice items. I wasn't a fan of every single item, but it was still, they had a nice variety. The Ravenspire map is absolutely awesome. I think this is a great little town, and I really, really think they did a great job at it, having confetti falling out of the sky and everything. This place felt really alive, so this was like a huge plus when it came to this update. Here's something right here that I had noticed. You've got the little birds bouncing around. That is adorable how they move around. And you got this person doing work. Like this place felt alive, and that's really, really well done. There was also Easter eggs that they had here. So far there's only one Easter egg we found, but they had a cat that was hidden somewhere and you had to find it, and he had a small quest that gave you a reward. I'm sure by now you guys know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I do have a video regarding that title. You can go and check on my videos. Unfortunately, with every update, there are going to be some downsides to it. And when this update first came out, there was a downside I had noticed, but it wasn't a major downside. It was just something I would have preferred it not being. And what I'm referring to is when you interact with this guy here, and this is another thing that I thought was really cool, being able to go to the nighttime thing. Having it being daytime and nighttime in the same map. I thought that was a really, really cool idea. What I do not like about the nighttime map, however, is the fact that it is a solo instance, so you're not able to farm with other people, and I think this is a missed opportunity because this game is an MMO, and I would encourage people playing together, not playing solo. Personally, to me, the biggest draw is the community and being able to hang out with your friends, so having a solo instance is never a good idea. Now for some big problems that I have with this, and I'm not the only one that has problems with this. I'm sure a lot of people do. Number one is I like the fact that you can upgrade your weapons. I think this is taken directly out of Dragon Fable, and this is a really, really cool idea, being able to upgrade your weapon. I definitely do not have a problem with this. I think this is really well done. My problem is when you get to the final weapon here and you want to upgrade it, and you are going to get this really cool looking weapon. The problem is you need to have one of the anomaly weapons, and these anomaly weapons are not easily obtained, and I know a lot of people that have not farmed for these weapons. Now I'm currently in the process of farming for these weapons simply to go for the axe, but it is still tiresome and irritating that the Nolgath saga is in any way connected to a Doom weapon. It doesn't make any sense to me, and I personally did not like that part of it. I don't think they should have attached the two because it really leaves a lot of people out. Now, I do understand because this is supposed to be the best in slot, but I personally don't think this needed to be best in slot. I would have taken it as a cosmetic weapon. So that is something I would say is, could you possibly have a option to get a cosmetic version of this without the stats that don't require the sacrifice of power? That way people can actually have this, the axe, just not the powered version. That could potentially be another thing, because I just, for people who aren't able to farm for those Nolgath stuff. Another problem is in the area here. So the problem with going up against the Doom Guardian, which I do not have a problem with the mechanics in here. I think this is a really, really cool idea, and I love being able to fight this guy that respawns. My issue is you can only do it with 5 players, and you can't do it with more than that, because when this first came out, you were able to farm with multiple people in this instance. It was far more enjoyable. Unfortunately, I was not able to do it because I rarely get to spend time playing when I'm making too much content. So by the time I did get to be able to play up against the Doom Guardian, it was already locked to a 5-player thing, which really sucks because there's no way to go above that cap, because go-tos in this map do not work. And I think that was a big mistake. I think it should be reverted back so you can have multiple people, because it's just funner to play with your actual friends. Another problem, and this is probably my biggest issue with this update. Oh, by the way, another thing I really loved about the update was when they introduced new weapons here, and when they introduced a really cool title you can get and drops from that Doom Guardian that I just showed you. That's really, really cool. Having more drops, having a few craftables, like this is what we got for craftables, considering that, I mean, it's just, they did a really, really good job when it came to that sort of thing. And that's amazing. I am so glad that they've been doing stuff like that. Big issue. Big issue was this. Unfortunately, this, which was not scaled at one point, is now scaled. And it's not only scaled in the public, it's scaled in the private. So when you go into here in private, you have to spend 10 hours killing these things. And if you think this is enjoyable, let me just give you an example of what this guy can do. He hits me for 1,400, 1,200, 1,600. At one point, one of the ones in the other room over here hit me for 2,000. And this is only one of the NPCs. Now, I can drop this NPC extremely fast, but these ones here are tanks. To run this dungeon the proper way is going to take you 15 minutes if you're running. Look at this, 13,000 HP with 4,000 armor. Like, it's ridiculous. It just takes way too long. It's not fun. It's boring. It did not make it fun. Before, these things were level 5, which is probably a little too low because you could complete the dungeon within 3 to 4 minutes. Again, this is not myself talking because I was not able to do that. I didn't come into here until it was scaled. And then I tried running this solo. And I thought, this is garbage. I would not waste my time running this dungeon when it takes this long to kill these things. Now, people could say, well, you don't even have to kill the enemies. You can just run and grab these things. And you still have to kill some of the enemies to get through because you're just going to die too fast if you're running solo. Now, luckily, there is a way to bypass it because there are these gates right over here. You've got, oh, okay, well, actually, the gate's down right there. Well, here, I'll give you an example right here. You've got this gate right here that you can actually just click on that to open it. But in one of the other rooms, you can literally jump right over top of it. But this is a quick fix. All they have to do is unscale it. They could just set the mobs to level 20 if they wanted to have it slightly more challenging. But a dungeon should not take more than a few minutes to complete because this is a mobile MMO. And this is, I think, quite often what the devs forget is that this is a mobile MMO. It should be completable with solo in a measurable amount of time. Also, there was a quest when you would go here, they had another quest that was here, and I believe that quest was when you would kill the Doom Guardian, you would get an unlucky Doom Essence. That was taken out of the game as well, whichever the other quest was, which sucks because I personally think that should have stayed in, because that's how I would be farming, is up against a Doom Guardian. Because to me, I would rather interact with people while I'm farming, because otherwise the best way to get the Doom Essence right now is by running this, but it's the most stupidest way of obtaining it, and I'll show you. Honestly, it is the fastest method, even though I don't agree with doing it because it's an MMO and you shouldn't have to. So you basically go in here, go into the night time. You're going to want to use an AoE class. So warrior, berserker, ranger, anything that you've got. You can use sprint if you want, or you can use one of your AoE things. Use a travel form to get up here quicker, and then you would be taking out this first group of enemies right here. If you want to attract this guy over here, you can as well. So you just want to get them all right here and then take them down. And this is how you get the whatchamacallits there extremely fast. Clean them all out, and bing, bang, boom, done. And then what you do is you literally log out. You log out, log back in, and repeat. This is how you do it. But another thing that you could do is head to Ravenspire using the news thing, interact with the serious thing, and then just jump right back in again and repeat. You can just this is literally the fastest way of farming the thing. I don't approve of this method, however, because you're not interacting with the other community. I mean, you're not interacting with other players. It's just, and it's so boring doing it this way. I would much rather prefer fighting the Doom Guardian and trying to get the drops while from with other people. But yeah, this is basically how people are doing it, and it's unfortunate. I'd like to hear what you guys think about the update, Ravenspire, and their most recent changes to what we got, the nerfs that we got, basically. Let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.